Look at this. No notifications going out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, do we have a signal? Looks like we do. Looks like we've got delayed notifications tonight. Is this going out? See some comments here? Let's wait for the stream to kick in. All right, well. All right, we're live. All right, this is your host, Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, coming to you on this drive time edition on Friday, May 10th, 2024. Coming to you once again, bringing you the truth that is hidden behind the lies, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to pick up the broadcast tonight and kind of carry on from where I left off yesterday. Just a bit about my contact information is P.O. Box 4121, Fullerton, California, 92834. On the web at thefullertoninformer.com, 5gdangers.com, celltowerdangers.com, vaxdangers.com. Email joeimbriano777@gmail.com. And you folks know how to reach me if you need to reach me, okay? Many ways to get a hold of me. All right, so, there's more details coming out about what happened to these three young men in Baja, California. And I want to talk a little bit more and expand a little bit further on what was discussed yesterday. More details are coming out about what happened to these young men. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what we're being told, folks. At first, we were told that these young men were a victim of a potential highway bandit scenario. And then we were told that it was a carjacking gone wrong. And then we were told that somebody wanted to steal their tires off of their truck and they resisted. And so they ended up on the wrong end of a gun down a deep hole in a well. And we know that there's a gal that has her picture on the internet by the federales who was in possession of one of the dead men's cell phone with a bag of meth and some other drugs. And then we're shown two pictures of men with their faces covered up as being suspects. And now we're being told that there's some potential cartel involvement in this event. But what you're not being told, ladies and gentlemen, is that this also could possibly have been an execution by government or intelligence agency operatives or military operatives, because these three young men happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they saw something that they weren't supposed to see. And so, consequently, if they did end up in the middle of witnessing some sort of intelligence operation, some clandestine operation from the military-industrial complex or some sort of government agency then these people would have had to have been exterminated because dead men tell no tales, and they're going to make it look like a robbery. I will tell you that once again, I am very familiar with the terrain and the roads down there and the beaches. And when you're going to steal someone's car in Mexico, you're not going to destroy it. You're going to take it. And when you're down there in the middle of nowhere, you're not just going to take the tires and leave the car. You're not going to burn the car up if you planned on stealing it. So all of what we're being told about this event doesn't make a lot of sense. And when you're being confused by intentional dissemination of subterfuge, which is what is happening here, this is what you get. The story's all over the place. It is no secret that if you drive down Highway 1 all the way to Cabo San Lucas, most of that area is totally uninhabited. Most of that region is off limits to most people. Now, I've been on cruise ships multiple times out of Long Beach down the Baja California coast, and I always bring a set of binoculars, and I always manage to keep an eye on the terrain as we pass it day and night. And I will tell you that for a very long distance, literally 1,500 miles, there's nothing up and down that coast. Nothing but a handful of little cities. Ensenada's really the only deep water port in Baja. Really is. There's nothing else. And once you pass Ensenada, it's dark. There's nothing anywhere down there, folks. So, off the coast of Mexico and on the beaches of Mexico, there is a tremendous amount of empty land and empty ocean where a lot of top secret stuff is going on, a lot of criminal activity is going on, a lot of drug running and child trafficking is going on, a lot of gun running is going on, and a lot of testing of technologies is going on, and a lot of troop movement and equipment transport is going on, and a lot of advanced technologies are being played around with down there. How do I know this? I have my sources. I've seen anomalies in the sky down there from offshore on the cruise ship. I've seen things in the sky that didn't make sense. And I know under the water, just off of where they filmed the Titanic, where you used to be able to get your lobster back in the day in Puerto Nuevo, there was, well, there still is, but there was an entrance to the primary water with underwater craft. There's a Parthenon structure there that allowed access to the primary water under the continental shelf. There's a lot of stuff. I talked about many years ago the dive boat Conception Labor Day weekend a few years back. They said it was a cell phone charger fire that blew up the boat. But, that's another area off Point Magoo where there's another entrance for submarines to enter under the continent into the primary water. So, folks, this is another example of where they just lie about everything and spin our heads. And, these young guys, they were in San Miguel on the 27th of April, and they headed south even further into no man's land for total solitude, total waves, and they probably saw something. But they weren't supposed to see, and there is no way that they were going to be allowed to talk to anybody about what they saw. Perhaps they even took pictures of what they saw. Perhaps they even confronted people about what was being witnessed. I'm just speculating, but it is very possible that this was an intelligence agency operation, and they're trying to make it look like a cartel hit or a road robbery. I'm sorry, but you know, that's the kind of stuff that we're seeing. You know, they burn up the truck and shove them down a well with bullets in their head. You know, that's what they're trying to make it look like it's a low-level hit, okay? And it's very possible that it wasn't. All I know is that the governments of the world all work together, and they hide things from us, and they laugh at us. You know, one of the biggest jokes is the globe, Earth, and the globe, and the way they show us that, you know, Antarctica is supposedly the South Pole, yet no airplanes can fly over it, and no one's allowed to go down there without a permission, and all the nations signed a treaty to where they can't go down there, you know, unless, you know, it's highly controlled. Ladies and gentlemen, there are continents beyond the ice wall, okay? There's a whole bunch of other continents that they're not telling us about. There's all kinds of top secret submarine programs where these guys go under the continent. You know, there's maglev trains under the ground. There's all kinds of stuff, folks. You know, they give us a bunch of abbas and porno and alcohol and medication and cartoons and, you know, these, you know, the dude looks like a lady and, you know, all this garbage just to spin our heads while, you know, they mock us. I mean, the Flat Earth map is the United Nations logo, and there's a whole bunch of continents out past the ice wall, and the United Nations logo is a mockery of how through fascism and socialism and communism and totalitarianism, they keep us herded into the central part of the Earth, where there's all kinds of land masses out in any direction beyond the ice wall. And there's all kinds of geothermal processes that keep these areas warm and habitable and lush and full of resources. And, you know, it would not surprise me if there are civilizations that are far more advanced than ours that have people connected to the elite that are living there. And when people go missing and, you know, they have these fake ritual killings of our celebrities, that's probably where they go live. Wouldn't surprise me, you know? There's obviously way more land beyond the ice wall than they've told us. Why do you think they try so hard to make us believe that the Earth is a globe, okay? It's a con job. And, you know, these guys down there, they may have seen something come up out of the ocean. They may have seen something fly and go into the ocean. They may have seen some sort of operation go down, and they were dealt with, okay? That's a possibility. You know, when you see a story emerge like this and evolve like this and get the attention that it's getting, it's a cover-up, in my opinion. You can't trust the Mexican authorities for anything. You know, I've got footage. Maybe I ought to upload it one of these days. We got off the boat in Mazatlan a couple of years ago and went for a tour. And I've got some footage of that place. It's pretty shocking. You know, there's so much that they don't tell us. And there's so much that people are afraid to speak about. And in most of these other countries, you can't talk about stuff because you end up disappearing. And things happen. I think it's very possible that these young men, obviously, for more reasons than one, were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And they may have been privy to something that there's just no way anybody was supposed to see or know about. And it's a tragedy because we'll never know. The truth is, folks, we'll never know. They're never going to tell us the truth. They never do tell us the truth about anything. If they lie to you about the shape of the earth, if they lie to you about the existence of God, I mean, think about this for just a moment, folks. If they lie to you about the Creator and try to tell you there isn't one, that nobody made this place, it all came into being out of an explosion of gas and lightning bolts and amino acids and protons and neutrons and prions and electrons and muons and neutrinos and all this subatomical theoretical bullshit, okay? If they will go to the extent that they are going to lie to you about the shape of what we live on and try to hide the existence of the Creator that put us here, do you think they're ever going to be honest with you about anything? I mean, come on. Are you really that naive? I know you're not. I know a lot of people, they don't want to believe that these things that, that I'm talking about are real. They want to just go back to their merry-go-round and self-medicate and, play with their little tinker toys on their merry-go-round and pretend everything's going to be fine. Well, that doesn't work very well, especially when they decide to fold up the monopoly board and you think you're sitting fat because you got a bunch of hotels and houses and you own all the utilities, right? You ever played that game? Well, when Mom used to tell us it was time to go to bed, she folded up the game board and made us go to bed, and it didn't matter how many utilities I owned or how many hotels I owned or how many houses I owned on the monopoly board. When Mom said it was time to go to bed, it was all back to zero in the morning. They can do that to us. And to be honest with you, they might. And actually, they probably will because, to be honest with you, everything they're doing now is... might as well go a little longer on this since I got a few minutes here. Everything they're doing right now, it's the Hunger Games, folks. I mean, look at the celebrity dressing up like the Hunger Games. Look at them all. Look at everybody you see, all these politicians. They look like the people in the Hunger Games. It's unbelievable. I mean, okay, the Hunger Games is the model, right? And, Agenda 2030, the King's Force is going to be off limits. The reduction of the population is going to take place. I mean, in the Hunger Games, everything's blown up and bombed. You can tell it's all in ruin. I mean, what do you think they're doing over in Gaza right now? Israel is just practicing. I mean, what do you think your children did for, all these years in college, developing lasers and weapons and radar systems and, all the transistor technology and computer chips and computer programming and AI to develop the weapons so they can kill everybody? I mean, they're testing them out right now. They're just, they're just seeing how well these bombs work on stone buildings and how much, it takes to do this or that. And, they shut off communications. They can jam this. They can jam that. Folks, their plans are to do that worldwide. Okay? They're not messing around. So, and when you see all the politicians and the celebrities dressing up like the Hunger Games people, and when you see the politicians putting billions of dollars into the bullet trains, just like in the Hunger Games, where you're not going to have a car, you're going to have to ride this thing, but only if you're privileged, and the only way to get from city to city is going to be on one of these trains. I mean, and the only way you're going to get to go from city to city is if you're going to be in the arena as a victim, right? Folks, come on. I mean, look what's going on. I bring this up because of several reasons. And my wife gets on my case because she says, Joe, you shouldn't call people stupid. And you shouldn't call people morons. And you shouldn't, call parents stupid for sending their children to school. And you shouldn't call parents morons or idiots for forcing their children to go to college. And you want to know something? My wife has a point. I shouldn't call them names. I should just simply make a statement that you're making a terrible mistake and it's going to be on you because there's no point, all right? And what's coming, it's all for naught. And it's all just basically just daycare. It's advanced daycare for your young adults. So go ahead and let them waste their life, waste your money, and waste the best years of their life and forego their social skill development in exchange for a bunch of brainwash and theoretical nonsense that's going to do nothing but put them into debt and hinder them emotionally, psychologically, and physically. And of course, in exchange for their reproductive rights, because the amount of time they're going to have a wireless device on their ovaries is going to make sure that none of the ovarian reserves are functional when they do meet Mr. Right, if they ever do. So there you have it. All right. So, I just wanted to chime in on the Friday night edition here about a little more elaboration on the story that continues to unfold, and it's getting a lot of play in the media. And I just want you to understand, folks, that there's a reason why they got us in these areas, okay? There's a reason why they keep us in these areas, all right? There's a reason why, folks, okay? They want us under their thumb in an extremely controlled environment, okay? They want us in the compact cities. They don't want us off in the land where we can see what they're doing, or that we can, survive in the wilderness and live off of the land, all right? You guys like that? They didn't mean to do that. This is a dashboard on a 30-year-old car that's about to run out of gas. Check out the lighting, huh? Check it out, huh? Look at this. Look at the system here. It's got knobs. See that? Isn't that cool? And, of course, it's got King James right there. This thing's important. You guys want to trip on this? I've had this New Testament for how long? I've had this New Testament. Let's see if I can open this up. You see that? I've had this New Testament for 41 years. So, folks, I've been down that road. I walked the path. It's a straight and narrow walk, folks. We're all on it together. And these guys are heading to hell that are trying to do bad stuff. And we're not going to let them win, okay? And the reason I'm wearing these glasses is because of these headlights. They're awful. I have 20/20 vision, and I've been working on a computer for 35 years. And there's a reason I have good vision. I'm out in the sun a lot. I don't wear sunglasses, and I only wear sunglasses at night, okay? I wear my sunglasses at night, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't just follow. Look at the lights on this thing. How are you supposed to see? How are you supposed to see with those lights in your face? Now, the people that drive those cars, they're blind everybody, those are the idiots, all right? Not me. I don't drive. I've got tungsten filament, halogen, incandescent light bulbs in my car that are still golden yellow that hurt no one, okay? All right, I think we've had enough of this drive time edition tonight. Do you agree, or shall we continue? I think we should just, I don't know. I mean, I really don't want to talk about much else because I do have to go have a hamburger. My wife is cooking a hamburger for me tonight. And I am looking forward to a nice, juicy hamburger that my wife has prepared for me. And I'm going to try to have a relaxing weekend and enjoy the bounty of God's wonderful creation and the fruit and the blossoms of the springtime in Southern California. It's still a beautiful place, folks. In all the bad, there's a ton of good, and I'll never, ever stop looking for the good, even in the midst of the bad. And that's what we're supposed to do, folks. We're supposed to be redeeming the days. We're supposed to be redeeming the time because the days are evil. And we got to do our best and expose the lies, walk the walk, spread the gospel, and give people advice that helps them, and live our lives trying to do the best we can for others. Not live like selfish, evil, disgusting cowards that I'm surrounded by where I live. Okay. All right, that's enough, folks. I think I'll sign off right now. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. The truth of Jesus Christ is eternal, and we're going to live forever, folks, and it's going to be a great time after this place is done, and after our time on this earth is done. And I assure you that you won't be disappointed. That's all I can say. All right, until we meet again, this is your host, Joe Imbriano, the Fullerton Informer, signing off on this Friday night drive time edition here, wishing you a blessed weekend. Talk to you soon. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and young men and women. God bless.